In this lesson, we're going to be taking a look at spreadsheets and the spreadsheet program that is part of OpenOffice. The term spreadsheet was derived from a large piece of paper that accountants used for business finances. The accountant would spread information like costs, payments, taxes, income, etc. Out on a single big oversized sheet of paper to get a complete financial overview. Some examples of spreadsheet usage today are that spreadsheets act like a calculator by automatically doing calculations. They can be used for tracking personal investments, budgeting, invoices, inventory tracking, statistical analysis, numerical modeling, address books, telephone books, printing labels, etc. They can also be used for what-if calculations. Change one number in a spreadsheet and all the calculations in a large spreadsheet will recalculate. They are pretty much used in almost every profession to calculate, graph, analyze, and store information. So let's take a look at just the basics of the spreadsheet program. So what we're going to do is go ahead and click on Spreadsheet. So instead of doing text document like we've done in the previous lessons, we're going to go ahead into the spreadsheet side, and we're going to get familiar with the interface of Calc. And the first thing that we're going to do is take a look at the main menu toolbar, which is this guy right across here, and it's the one with the words, and this is very similar to what we saw in Writer. This toolbar gives you access to many of the basic commands in Calc. In fact, it gives you access to every command in Calc. And then below that we have two toolbars. We have a function toolbar, which is this toolbar right here, and the function toolbar contains icons that provide quick access to commands like new, that's this guy here, open, print, there, copy, and paste, and a whole bunch of other things. If you're not sure what a picture is, you can place your mouse cursor over top of it and the name of the element appears on the screen. So in this case I was over top of the format paintbrush. The one below it is one that we're familiar with from Writer, which is our formatting toolbar. And the formatting toolbar has drop-down menus that allow you to select the font, font color, alignments, number formats, border options, background colors. Also lets you do bold, italic, underline, lets you do a whole bunch of stuff. And then a new toolbar that we haven't yet seen, which is underneath right here. This is called the formula toolbar, and this contains a name box with a drop-down menu and a long white box called the input line. And formulas are very important in spreadsheets, and as we move along you're going to see that we'll get into that more. Alright, so underneath your toolbars you have the spreadsheet itself, and the spreadsheet is divided into rows that have a number at the left of each row and divided into columns with letters at the top of each column. So we have rows down the side and we have columns that go across the top. Rows are numbered, columns are by letter. Each one of these individual blocks is called a cell. Cell is the fundamental element of a worksheet. This is where things are added and where things are seen. Now, a cell address in a spreadsheet identifies the location of the cell in the spreadsheet. A cell address is a combination of the column letter and the row number, such as cell A2 or B16. When identifying a cell by its address, the column letter is always listed first, followed by the row number. The cell address of A5 is such like this. So we go A, so we look for column A, and then we go to the intersection of column A and row 5, and that is this cell right here, A5. If we look at our function toolbar up here in the name box, you can see that it has the name A5. Let's take a look at another one like B16. So we have column B, which I just selected all of the column B, and row 16 at that intersection is cell B16. The cell addresses are very important because when we get into formulas, we always reference the cell by its address. Okay. So let's take the opportunity now to enter in some data. So we're going to go up to cell A1, So that's column A, row 1. So that's our very first cell. And you'll notice that as soon as we select that cell, there's a heavy black border around that cell. And this black border indicates that A1 is the active cell. And if you take a look at your column header and your row header, you will notice at the top of the first column, the A and the 1 in the row are both highlighted. This highlighting also indicates that A1 is the active cell. Right? So in this first cell, we're going to type something very simple like hello world. And as soon as we press the enter key, it takes us to the next cell down and makes cell A2 active. So you'll notice the header, the A is highlighted in blue, row 2 is highlighted in blue, therefore we are in cell A2. When you type something in a cell and press enter, what you typed is seen in that cell, and then the cell below becomes the next active cell. What if we want to delete our data? So we're going to go back and select cell A1 again, and you'll notice that there's no cursor in that cell at the moment. If I press the delete key on my keyboard, I get a delete contents window that pops up, and it asks me a question. It says, what is it exactly that I want to delete? Well, I want to delete all, so I'm going to click that checkbox and click OK, and it gets rid of everything within that cell. So you know how to enter data, you know how to delete data. Now we're going to take a look at how to format data. Okay, so we're going to go back to cell A1, which we're in, and we're going to type in the number negative 9,999.129. Now you'll notice that I had a number like 9,000. Notice that there's no commas. Don't put in commas. No punctuation except for a decimal point and a negative number. So I press enter, and you'll notice that automatically the number got moved to the right, because numbers in calc always get moved to the right. Text will stay formatted to the left by default. And you'll notice too that instead of 0.129, it rounded it to 0.13. If I click back in that cell though, you'll notice that up in my formula toolbar, the original number that I put in, negative 9,999.129, is still there, but the way it is formatted, or the way that it displays, is slightly different. So let's take a look at how we can change that up. If I right click on my cell, one of the choices that I have, the second choice, is format cells, and it brings up my formatting dialog box once I click on it. So it brings up my formatting dialog box. So I'm already on the numbers tab, which is where I want to be. In category, I have number selected, and on format I'm going to click on the third choice here, 1234.12. And for negative numbers, I'm going to say I want my negative numbers to be red, so I'm going to check that checkbox as well, and I'm going to click OK, and you'll notice now that my negative number is formatted as a red number. Now you'll notice currently my number by default, as I told you earlier, is aligned to the right of the cell. If I want to align it to the left of the cell, what I can do is click my left alignment button in my formatting toolbar, and I can move it right to the left. So you know how to put numbers in, you know how to delete numbers, you know how to format them. Let me just demonstrate very quickly how to put in the decimal. If I right click and go to formatting cells again, if I want an extra decimal point, notice right here it says decimal place is 2. If I make that 3, see down here in the format code how it added a 0 to both. So if I click OK, I will now get the number that I had originally put in. It's very important to remember that whatever number you type in, Calc remembers, but the way that it's formatted can be different.